I am Bianca Pabotoy, Women, Peace and Security Officer at the Center for Peace Education, CPE, Miriam College, a member of Pax Christi Philippines. In July 2019, I had the wonderful opportunity of sharing CPE's current Women, Peace Security project, We Peace, at the Voices of SDG 16 Plus Stories of Global Action, a side event organized during the high-level political forum at the UN in New York. The event was co-organized by several civil society organizations, including Pax Christi International. So a little bit about We Peace. The Women's Agency in Keeping the Peace, Promoting Security, or We Peace, is a localization initiative of the Philippines National Action Plan on UNSCR 1325 to capacitate selected community women in the Philippines on gender-responsive peacemaking and peacekeeping. In 2019, We Peace has helped form women peacekeeping teams and enabled women's increased participation in existing peacekeeping mechanisms. Our women peacekeepers are from 4 different areas in the country facing different conflict lines such as tribal wars, clan wars, internal displacement, and development aggression. The Voices of SDG 16 Plus Stories of Global Action is a collaborative campaign aiming to bring the work of civil society on SDG 16 Plus to the global level of discussions at the United Nations. Individuals and partners of the organizations taking part in the 2019 event from around the world had the opportunity to submit short videos telling their stories of the best practices and extraordinary efforts being undertaken towards SDG 16 Plus at the national and local levels. Through Pax Christi International, we were informed about this important opportunity. Some organizations submitting a video would be selected to present their work at the UN in New York, which was luckily our case. At the time of video submission, We Peace already completed our capacity training program. We really wanted to focus on the many experiences we have gathered from years of work on WPS in CPE. It was a good opportunity to take stock and see how far we have come and how far we can still go as a center for our work with the WPS localization in the Philippines. We Peace was actually born out of the outcomes of an action research on the barometer of women's security. The research put forward that peace in the community will be more sustainable if local women were meaningfully involved. Women recommended that capacities of local women for peace work and participation be strengthened so that they can take on the role of peace and security monitors and conflict solvers in their own communities. Peace has not always been a walk in the park for us in the country. There have been peaks, for example, with the Philippines having the first woman negotiator in the world to sign a peace agreement. And there have also been setbacks with the current very militarized approach to peace in the country right now. Speaking at the UN in New York was a good opportunity for me to showcase and remind decision and policymakers that these documents and agreements, when implemented and supported properly, really do open spaces of meaningful and inclusive participation on the ground. To be a young woman peace builder, being in the UN, meeting other peace builders who were also young, was personally one of the most important learning opportunities for me. I got to learn how youth, women, and so many more aspects of peace are interconnected, lived, and advocated for around the world. My participation has enabled me to attend and engage in even more dialogues and global events on SDG 16+, the 2030 Agenda, and the WPS Agenda. And even being moderator for the Voices of SDG 16 Plus event in 2020. So I'm very grateful to Pax Christi International UN's representatives in New York, in particular Mary Jelinek, Doug Hostetter, and Beth Begley, for readily assisting me and my colleague Sofia, who was also there to present her own work on youth peace and security in 2019. We flew to New York knowing we were going to get taken care of and that we had mentors and colleagues whom we may have met for the first time there, but was like meeting longtime friends and kindred spirits. Now, in the time of COVID, a lot of the work has slowed and shifted online. We remain active internationally through our work with our partners like Pax Christi Asia Pacific and Pax Christi International, as what we've done in October for the tour of Asia Pacific, where we organized an online forum with the Filipino women peace builders sharing their participation in peace, and my own interview for Pax Christi International for its video series featuring young members of the movement. In a time of shrinking civil society space, the Voices of SDG 16 Plus, meeting members of Pax Christi International in New York, and continuing our work with Pax Christi International remains to be a good reminder of the good and hardworking people and allies that remain steadfast and empowered in committing to working for a peaceful world. Thank you and keep safe.